fantastic month meeting and dating husband material men. I went on a bunch of live dates, and in this report, I want to walk you through exactly how I hit the dating jackpot, the meeting new people jackpot, the making new best friends jackpot, so that you can copy my exact strategy, repeat the same thing in the city where you live. Even if you haven't been meeting people so far, even if you're not even sure this is possible for you, or you have almost given up hope, please use my life and my first hand experience as proof that this is possible for you too, if you are following the right steps. So, if you have watched my dating report for the previous month, you know that I didn't really have a plan to succeed, and therefore I didn't. This month, I wanted to do something different. I went into this month thinking my number one focus for this month is meeting and dating husband material men. But when the month started, to be honest, I had no clue how I was going to do that. I knew that there are events, I knew that there are places, I knew that I live in a really cool and happening neighborhood which has a lot of stuff going on, but I didn't have any invitations on my calendar. I didn't really have many live events. I just had two things around which I built everything else. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how I approached this. In January, I met most of the people who I met, almost 2,000 people at live events. I was barely home. I was home in the morning for a few minutes to get ready, put on my clothes for the day, and in the evening to get ready for the next day and sleep. That's it. Even on the weekends, I was barely home. This is a very simple rule you can use. Just be out of your house as much as possible. Most of us spend most of our free time and a lot of our working time at home. We work from home, we live at home, we chill at home, we even invite our friends over sometimes. Our homes are so comfortable, and that is why we spend so much time there. However, your husband is not in your home yet. You have to go be out and meet him. And one of the easiest ways to train our brains to meet more people is to already be out all the time. This just makes it easier. I was like, okay, I have this beautiful apartment, but I'm not home. So I was just never home. And that is a big part of why I met so many people. But this graph is a little bit deceptive. So as you can see on the graph, 90% of the people I met came from live events. So the natural conclusion would be, oh Malaika, like your jackpot is live events. You need to go to more live events to meet new people. And yes, I did meet new people, some of whom were like-minded through live events. But when we talk about the number of people who I'm still in contact with and will see again, 100% of them came from the same two sources. The first source was my tennis lessons. As you can see here, I met 50 new people through my tennis lessons. And the other source was WhatsApp groups, surprisingly. WhatsApp groups is the same approach Narendra Modi, the current Prime Minister of India at the time of filming this video, used to win the election 3 times. If he can do it, so can you. And he is not even an educated man. The guy is not even a high school graduate, and he is leading the world's largest democracy. So you can find a husband through WhatsApp groups. In India specifically, people run their entire lives through WhatsApp. And so when I moved to Mumbai, I was invited to join a bunch of different WhatsApp groups. I was not invited to join these groups sitting in my apartment. I only got the invitations to join the group once I started going to a co-working space regularly. I started going to live events. I started meeting people and talking to them and putting a lot of effort into meeting new people, that people said to me, hey, why don't you join this WhatsApp group? Hey, I'm in this awesome WhatsApp group. I think it could be useful for you. Why don't you join it? So my emphasis on being outside your house still stands. But I want to try the WhatsApp group strategy this month and see if it yielded any fruit. It was actually incredibly successful, and I'll get to exactly how I did that. So while you're looking at this graph, bear in mind, it's not the full story. Our goal is not just to meet a bunch of new people. A lot of single women do this. They go out, they're like, okay, Malaika says go to organic events. I'm going to go to organic events. I'm going to meet new people. But it doesn't go anywhere if they're not the kind of people who are trying to also meet you. I discovered that although I meet lots of people through live events, none of the people who I'm in touch with and will see again were at those live events. And none of the people at live events were there to meet someone like me. So you want to get this puzzle right Who do I want to meet and who wants to meet me? Both have to match in order for a connection to bear fruit and lead to a long term relationship, whether that is with a man or a woman. And finally, if you've read my previous dating reports, the number of new conversations started was usually a 1 to 5% success rate. This month it was incredibly successful, on 10% success rate of the people who I reached out to ended up becoming connections, simply because I had really dialed into my ideal partner profile, my ideal friend profile. I knew exactly who I was looking to bring into my life for the next 2 3 years for friends, and for the next 50 years for husband. So I knew exactly what I was looking for, and this made it really easy to create connections that are longer term. My final point is that I only dated in one neighborhood. So I came back to Mumbai last year, and I was working in one neighborhood, living in another, kind of all over the place in terms of meeting new people, especially guys. And what I realized is that all of the guys who I want to meet live in the same neighborhood. So I got an apartment in that neighborhood. It is probably, in the whole country, the number two most expensive neighborhood in the country of India. That is a choice I am willing to make because the return is enormous. On a daily basis, I can meet enough people that if I converted them all to clients, they could, pay for my apartment 10 times over. So that's the mindset you want to have. Think of where you live as something that is an investment in the relationships that you're going to form. A lot of the women who reach out to me are like, oh, I'm trying to save money on my apartment, this and that. No, your goal is to live in the city center of the place where you want to live so that you can attract the kind of guy you want. Now, let's move on to what went really well this month and the lessons that you can take from it. For the first time, I knew exactly what not to go to. So, as you can see, here's a little snapshot from Creative Mornings, one of the live events that I really like to meet new people. But I also knew that my ideal partner profile is of a business owner who is not going to be free on Friday morning. He's going to be either at the gym or at home working. He's not going to be hanging out at a meetup event. So I didn't even bother going to this event. I met that speaker a few days later, and then I realized, oh, okay, he's not even the kind of man who, nothing wrong with him, but who I would, want to spend more time with because he's similar to my ideal partner profile. And also, he lives in Amsterdam, where I don't plan to live or want to live. So, a clear lesson, like when you're going to live events, you need proof that at that live event you are going to meet husband material men before you go. It's not random. We teach the strategy inside the Perfect Match program. It's very predictable and repeatable. There's nothing random about the live events we go to. Secondly, in this photo you can see me, I'm shopping at the Brooks Brothers store. In the past, I loved men who wore button-up shirts and blazers, wool jackets, and I targeted men based on how they looked. And the guys who dress like this work in finance, they're lawyers, or they're bankers. I dated these kind of guys consistently, consultants, working in Big Four, IT consultants, etc. Just because I liked how they look. Again, dating based on attraction, chemistry. Oh, he looks so good. He looks so attractive. But those guys are not a match for me. The guys who are a match for me, business owners, sit at home and work in a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt. Those kind of guys do not shop at Brooks Brothers unless they have to go to a wedding. So like maybe once a year they'll shop at Brooks Brothers. But Brooks Brothers also doesn't cater to those kind of men. I want to meet a guy who's in his 30s, and the average age of the clientele of Brooks Brothers is 45 and above. So this is a really good example of once you create a crystal clear ideal partner profile, you even know where to shop for the guy. You're not doing anything random. So I could go into Brooks Brothers. I went there to get a shirt for myself because I really like the quality of their clothes for the most part. But the more I looked at the menswear, I was like, my husband wouldn't wear this. So I went to another shop and bought him clothes. That was not Brooks Brothers. You want to get to that point where even before you've gone on a single date, you know exactly what your husband would wear and what he would not wear. And finally, here's a picture of my tennis lessons. They were a jackpot. Let's get into it. So this month, I created systems for everything: my work, my clothing choices, my food, fitness routine, drinking enough water, and having a clean home. I have hired someone to do all of the tasks that I'm not doing, especially cleaning, tidying, even organizing my home. I basically just order the stuff and she like organizes the home. So all of that mental energy is gone. I have found someone who's going to help me decorate my home since it's a newer apartment. With clothing, I have a system. So I've bought the same clothes that I just wear every single day, and my housekeeper sets them out for me. So I don't even think, what am I going to wear tomorrow? You want to save as much mental energy as possible for this project of picking a husband. Choosing a husband is the most important decision that we will make as financially independent women. So you want to dedicate the maximum mental energy that you can, remove it from other stuff that is currently taking up mental energy. I spent a lot of time in 2024 organizing my clothes and ironing them. It sounds stupid, but every day I would spend 15 minutes to half an hour ironing. This is insane. So I bought an ironing board, hired someone to do my ironing, and also bought the exact same item that I just wear on repeat. I did the same for my gym clothes. I bought five tennis skirts for tennis, and the same gym clothes that I had last year that I'd already invested in. Lululemon, high quality stuff that never needs to be replaced once every 10 years. And done. That's it. So I don't have to think about that stuff. I eat the exact same meal every single day, the exact same lunch, exact same breakfast, exact same dinner. And you might think, wow, isn't that super boring? It's like, hello, your meal time is not entertainment time. If you need entertainment, go buy a movie ticket and go to the cinema. Your meal time is for nutrition, and nutrition is fundamental to being in a good mood so that you can attract a great husband. I talk a lot about this in my 2024 dating reports when I really dial down on my health. So if you want more about how nutrition impacts dating, go check those out. My decision to systematize created so much mental space that I could then use to not only meet people but also contact them and think about creative ways that I could meet more aligned guys. Again, I have a really dialed in ideal partner profile, and I have been testing different venues to meet guys who match it. So this month I found the jackpot. It's like opposite my house. It's a private club, and it made it so easy because I was like, I can just go to this venue. It's a 2.5 minute walk from my home, and I can go there every single day, which I do, and I can easily meet husband material men there every single day, which I do. So the tennis lessons that I started were through this private club. Now, why do tennis lessons match me? Number one, to play tennis regularly, you need to be part of some kind of private club. I realized last year that the kind of guy I want to attract is someone I need to meet through introductions or through some kind of private venue. So being a member of a private club is almost the equivalent of an introduction. It's private, it's not well advertised, and you can't just show up and get access. The barriers to entry are extremely high. At my club, they're not even taking new members. So it just happens that I'm a member from a long time ago that I have access. I began tennis lessons there. Now I'm super passionate about sports. I would have played tennis lessons even if I met zero guys, even if it was only women. But I really, really enjoy it. So I'm super happy when I go there. I'm super happy during the lesson. I'm happy after the lesson. And men can see that I'm happy. Men want to be around a happy woman. This is a key tenet that we teach in the Perfect Match program. You want to do activities that are fun, that match your values. So tennis matches my passion and value of fitness and health and waking up early in the morning and starting your day with sunshine and being outside. But also, because they're at a private club, they attract people who look for exclusivity, who look for discretion, who don't want a public profile. There is no Instagram at that private club. There is no photographer. Everything is just between the members. So the only way to meet people is by going there and by showing your face and somebody asking for your number. There's no other way. It's very private and very discreet. And I am very private and very discreet about my private life, and so are all of the people who are in my life. Nobody in my life is an influencer except me, and people are constantly telling me, don't put my photo on Instagram. So this is very much a value that I embody, that I offer to my clients. I never put my clients' photos on the internet, as you have seen. And it's the same value that I share in my family and that I want to have in the family that I create. So that choice to go to that private club represents this value. I've also been resting way more, which put me in a better mood through having a good mattress, having nap time, having regular massages that are all scheduled in my calendar. I teach you how to do this scheduling in the Perfect Match program in case it's something that you're struggling with. I said no a lot. So at this point, I have been meeting guys for 1 year. It is the longest time that I have not been in a serious relationship in the past 8 years. And I focused on taking this time for the express goal of meeting a guy who is a 10 out of 10 match. He's a heck yes. I met lots of men last year. Not lots, let's say 3 men who would have married me. They told me on our first date, this is what I'm looking for. I am serious. I'm ready to get married. And they really liked me. They pursued me. They chased me. They sent me a lot of messages. They made time to go out with me. They paid for my drinks, etc. They were serious, but they were not a heck yes for me for reasons I've shared in other dating reports. So I didn't say yes to them, but I met men who are ready to commit to me specifically. You want to get to this point, which is step 4 of the perfect match process. Serious options who are ready to commit to you specifically. They're not just now men, they're now men for you. But I said no to these guys. Finally, thanks to doing carnivore diet, which I've been doing for about a year and a half, my skin is amazing. It's like super bright, really rare in both the United States and India. So the US and India are both going through obesity epidemics. Why? Because of the standard American diet and the standard Indian diet, both of which are highly inflammatory. Both of these countries have a lot of fast food. Food is very easily available, very poor quality on average, and the government wants you to eat garbage because fat people don't protest. It's actually a very much conscious strategy on the part of the government and private enterprise to feed us garbage. In both the US and India, it is extremely difficult to be healthy. I remember having oat milk one day in the US, and I was like, oh, this oat milk has sugar, karaginan, which is just another word for sugar. So it's like a full-time job in the US to not be fat. It's considered bad manners to talk about being fat, to talk about, wanting to be healthy, wanting to be fit, wanting to have 10 out of 10 health and valuing that and wanting to be around other people who value health and fitness. But I am here to say you deserve that. That is a bare minimum. Every man in my family has had a heart attack, and in our family it's like, oh, I didn't have a heart attack, but I only got diabetes. Like, oh, check me out, I'm doing so well. I'm sorry, that is just not good enough for me, and it's not good enough for you either. You deserve absolutely wonderful health, and you merit asking for that in a partner. I refuse to take on guys to my database who don't go to the gym, don't work out, don't value their health and fitness. And the way to set those standards is by prioritizing your health and fitness above every other thing in your life, because it will pay off. Let's talk about things that broke this month. So, my computer died in the first week of the year, spilled liquid on it, and I was like, oh, of course I can get this repaired. So, I spent a week just trying to get my computer repaired. It wasted so much time. Then I finally realized, okay, this is not going anywhere. My coach was like, think about the time that you're putting into this. So I went out, bought a new computer that night, and immediately my life was back on track. So think about the situations where you are wasting time on decisions that money can solve, and go and solve those things with money. Like, you want to dedicate as much time and mental energy as possible to meeting husband material men. The second thing was that I took a block printing class, which I'd scheduled back in November. So, block printing is nice. I'm doing a thing this year where I take 1 week off every month just to think, clear my brain a bit, come up with new ideas for my business. It was cool to learn block printing, but it was really not cool in that environment. We were in really small, yucky room with bad lighting, and I don't know what's going on with my video over here, but bad lighting. It was hot. The other people who came didn't share my values whatsoever of health. Everybody was obese. I was like, this is not where I want to be. And nobody even wanted to speak in English. I was like, you all do speak English. Why is this class in Hindi? So it was just really outside my normal environment, and it made me realize I just spent a week with people who I'm not going to spend time with again. This is a waste of my time, even though I learned a new skill called block printing. But again, I could have just picked another art class in a nice neighborhood with like-minded people. So that was a big lesson. The second thing was that I went out at night 3 times. And all three times were really difficult because I wake up in the morning early to go to the gym. It's one of my favorite parts of the day. I really look forward to it. And when I go out late at night, I feel wrecked the next morning. So, again, that was a mistake. And finally, I have spent many years living in France where it's almost hard to not date a guy because men are constantly asking you out. You don't even need to look cute, you don't even need to smile. It's just very ingrained in their culture to seduce women, to ask women out, to kind of pursue women, especially in Paris. And so I got a big shock when I came to India and I was like, the men don't ask women out here. And it's not me, it's them. So I realized that I had to go after the guys. And this is not chasing, I was still very much in my feminine energy. But I extended an invitation to the guys and said, hey, like, you seem really cool. Would you like to meet up for coffee? And they all said yes. They were all super excited. They were thrilled to spend time with me and get to know me. And we had a wonderful time together because they matched my ideal partner profile. But it is a reminder that every dating environment needs a slight adjustment. So, dating in the Bay Area is going to be different than dating in Miami. Again, Miami is a highly Latin environment. Men are just asking you out left and right, flirting with you. You can't like even walk on the street without a guy catcalling you. Very different in the Bay Area, which is full of engineers who are 99% focused on their jobs and 1% focused on their personal life. Again, different to dating in New York, where people are just very busy and very stressed about the cost of living and also trying to make it in their respective careers. So the way to meet people is different in the city in which you are, which is why you need a custom plan, which we create inside the Perfect Match program. Overall, super, super successful month. I also spent so much time and effort getting happy for myself that at this point I'm like, well, if I meet someone great, if I don't meet someone great, like life is so good. I am so happy. I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with the people that I'm meeting. I'm actively working on making new friends, meeting new people. My life is very full and rich. My health is great. I signed up for a trainer at the gym. I just wake up every day feeling so grateful, and I go to bed every night feeling so grateful. And that is the attitude that you want to be because it's magnetic to men. It makes you a valuable prospect because you're positive, you bring them happiness and joy, and it makes life really good for you because you don't feel any of the desperation and anxiety that we associate with finding a partner. Instead, you can see this process as a really nice afternoon spent shopping. Hey, let me go shopping with my best friend. Let me look at all these beautiful clothes, touch them, try them on, take selfies, laugh in while we are trying on clothes in the changing rooms, and after shopping we can go and have a really delicious meal together. This is how you want to see finding a partner, and this is the approach that we teach in the Perfect Match program. So if you'd like more information on how we can work together to help you find your husband and get engaged this year, click the link below where I share more details about the Perfect Match program, and let's get started. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Malai Kaneri. I'm a professional Indian matchmaker. Check back in next month for next month's dating report. Bye bye.